Welcome to India Sports News. First day of the third test match at Indore, India versus Australia. Dramatic turn of events at the Holkar Cricket Stadium. And if there is drama, then Nilesh Kulkarni, former India cricketer, can't be too far away. Nilesh, what happened at the Holkar Cricket Stadium with the Indian team?
Chandresh, I think we spoke yesterday about my only fear and concern was the red soil, the bounce, and I think after winning the toss, India could not stay long enough to have partnerships. I think one of the key things is the area of concern for Indian team is going to be the bounce, and the way Australians have bowled is so good to see in terms of the application. What India managed to do, Australia have done it in this Test match. What India did in the last two Test matches. But I think one of the area of concern now for me is the way our bowlers are applying. That's something which India needs to quickly adapt, learn, and start preparing because we are leaking boundaries and not getting wickets. Jadeja with that no ball, Babishin who is out. So a couple of area errors and areas of concern for Indian team.
Going back to the morning, India made two changes to their 11. Australia made two changes, forced changes. David Warner and Pat Cummins went back home. Australia brought in Cameron Green and Mitchell Stark. Very first delivery. Rohit Sharma was out, caught behind, but Australia thought about it, didn't review.
Absolutely. See, I think these are very, especially into seaming track or turning track. You only have two referrals, so you want to be you want to be extremely choosy and selective with regards to your referrals also. And I was a bad call, but it did not pay too much damage to Australian team because they ended up getting him out. So again, the way I think it probably looks even more underprepared wicket than what we anticipated, and that's also a big concern. But if Australia manages to put up a good score, India or anybody else cannot complain saying that it's a complete rank. This thing, because by the looks of it, right now Australia is already on 100 for one, close to 100 for one. So that's something which is like India needs to, because if India bats again with 80, 100 or 150 runs lead, that's going to be one big task.
We spoke about Australia's changes. India made two changes: Rahul being dropped and Gill being brought in, and Shami being rested and Umesh being brought in. What did you make of those two changes that India made?
I think I did not expect Umesh Yadav for Shami. I was expecting Shubman Gill for Rahul for sure. I mean, unfortunate first match coming back. It's always going to be tough playing in India on a turning track. So I just have to. You just need to go give the similar kind of opportunities to Shubman Gill, the kind of form he's in. He's definitely going to be the future of India at opening. So it's just one innings, but he's talented and he's in form. The bigger positive is he's been consistently doing well, getting big hundreds. He's in form. The man in form needs deserves that chance, and I've been maintaining that, and I continue to support and back that thought.
India started off well. They were about 20 odd without loss, but then Captain Rohit Sharma. Did you really think that shot was warranted at that stage?
See, I think he successfully did that by stepping out. I think he misjudged the line, but more so the bounce. He did not get used to that bounce. It was the first or the second over. So to do that is even more difficult. I think that's where the catch is dropped just now, by the looks of it. So it's just my only fear is the way Rohit has been playing that stepping out. If the ball is in his zone, he's going out for the shots. If it's not, he's defending it. But before anticipating the bounce, I think it was a little too early.
And what about the other batters? Pujara got a vicious turner. Someone like Jadeja survived a LBW, but then the ball stopped on him and he played it to the short covers. Shreyas Iyer cut one and got himself out. Bharat and Kohli were looking good. What did you make of the other batters?
I think the area of concern for Indian batters is that the application, not spending enough time to understand the conditions which are different than Delhi. So I think which are different than Nagpur. So I think playing Pujara got a turner on a turning track. The ball going to come in. It's always going to spin. You can't pre-predict the shot. I think simple things gone missing in this right now. And my only bigger point to make in this is, if we do not apply and adapt to those things, we'll always find it into a difficult situation.
Uh, Kohli and Bharat, for a while, they looked like they were adding runs and batting resolutely. What did you make of that stand, and especially
I
Kohli's
think
batting?
Kohli applied really well. He was the one who looked like want to spend time at the crease, and his dismissal is on a good ball. He was playing a defensive shot, so he's not. So he didn't get out to a silly shot or a ambitious shot. So I think these things happen in cricket. He just went for a single, he got missed, and nowadays on a front foot you start getting leg befores. As a bowler, that's a great sign. But I think I still give some this thing to Kohli and Bharat because they got out to a decent ball. They did not play stupid shots.
Aksar batted well again. But what did you make of that last wicket, that run out? Siraj was not looking
Yeah.
only, he was not paying any attention.
See, when you know Aksar is the main batter and he needs to keep the strike, obviously he's going to push. And Siraj, if you see in that first run itself, he was not pushing. His job is to make sure that he supports. But suddenly, many times I've done that mistake in the past, and I could relate that kind of episode where you think that you can easily bat and handle that situation. You start thinking that. So I think that's a mistake which Siraj also did because at that point of time, Aksar needed to take maximum strike, and rightly so, Aksar was going for the second run because he was going to the danger end, and Siraj's end was the non-striker's end. Yet he got out at the non-striker's end, so that means Siraj is definitely at fault.
And the Australian bowlers, especially Matthew Kunman, picked up 5 wickets, Nathan Lyon picked up 3 wickets. What did you make of those two spinners?
So I've been saying that Australia needed to have a ball going away from the right-handers, and in form of Matthew last match and this match, that has been a great differentiator. And then add a value to Todd and Nathan Lyon because when the ball starts coming in and the one which goes out, there's always a variation. And when you are the opposition team, you're always looking out to what to do for those which are coming in and going out. So the strategy changes. It's exactly what happened to them.
And India 109 only in their first innings. After winning the toss, how disappointed would they be?
Absolutely. I think the batters will take the ownership for sure, and I'm sure there's enough experience in that dressing room who knows what has gone wrong and what shot selection was made for these things. So I think it's only fair that if India managed to curtail the lead and have a 50-60 run lead, then India can still think of having a good total because the conditions will start settling down. The wicket will still offer the turn, but it will be slightly slower and lower. So that way, India batters knows how to handle those conditions far more than the Australians.
The ball's keeping low. There are puffs of dust coming out of the pitch. Is it an unplayable pitch? Is it an under? You already said it's an underprepared, but is it an unplayable pitch?
I don't think it's unplayable, underprepared, and to be fair with Holker groundsman and the staff, they got the information fairly late, so they did not get enough time to prepare the wicket how you want it. And that's evident because from the ball one, you could see a bounce and Holkar Stadium wicket known because of the red soil to start offering extra bounce. And my only fear now is that if it's slowing down, it's good. But Australia will have an advantage if they put up a extra 40, 50 or 70 runs. That gives them a cushion to start dictating the terms for Indian team.
And the way Australia started, everybody expected Australia to just India to just come and bowl them out, spin them out. Is that a wrong thing to expect that just because you've been bowled out for 109, the other side can also be bowled out for
That
70 or
never
80?
happens. It's a good scenario to have. Hypothetical situations are good, but realistically things are completely different. The way Australians have approached this game after that 10-day break, it's fairly evident to see they're more prepared, more hungry. After 2-0 down, they still want to prove a point. And make no mistake, now there's a new captain in the helm. So that also brings a different perspective for the players and also give them an opportunity that they were right at the bottom. The only way is up for them now. And this is exactly what they're showing.
Nilesh, you've got to expect batsmen make better captains.
Not really, but I'm saying that he is an experienced captain. He has done that in the past. When he becomes a captain, he's a different player altogether. and you could see that when you could see them, when you could see him in the field. He was there. He was constantly having an engagement with the bowlers, field positioning, talking to wicketkeeper. So there's a conversation happening to change the scenarios real time, and that was a good sign to see.
And Jadeja, third no ball, which cost a wicket for India in this series. What is he doing wrong? He has no run up whatsoever. How can he bowl a no ball?
I think one of the areas of concern for the bowling coach to decide, but from a left arm spinner standpoint, I think it's a matter of adjustment. And if he's pushing it, we've seen that after his comeback, he's bowled more no balls and lost more opportunities to get wickets. I think it just need to adjust, realign that half a step. It takes only this much space for him to realign, and things may not change drastically at all with the line, length, and the pace he bowls in. But as you rightly said, he doesn't have a run up, so adjusting that run up is a fair should be fairly easy for him.
You'll be able to tell us this better. Is Ravichandran Ashwin being over eager?
See, you get excited because there's a pressure on him. There's a pressure on Jadeja because they've done that in the last two Test matches. The expectations are way too high, which is rightly so, and you tend to do overdo sometimes because you want to go for wickets. Everybody is expecting you to do that, and many a times we make this simple mistake of sticking to basics. There's a good old saying in England, in English, and in cricketing term, that if you stick to your basics, you will never be disappointed. And I think one of the areas where, when you can do so many things, but you forget sometimes that by bowling three maiden overs, automatically you have more chance to get a wicket.
India has been leaking runs in this, like we already spoke about, in terms of boundaries and also singles. The left and right hand combination constantly pushing the strike and moving around. Has that disturbed the whole plan of the Indian team?
It's a cycle of effect. It's a chain of events which leads to that kind of thing. As a bowler, you think about going for a wicket. You're bound to leak more runs because you want to go for that wicket and give that breakthrough. That's all. That's the simplest way to analyze this. But these are the mistakes India can now, with the experience they have in the dressing room, should be able to handle and avoid those things.
Realistically, for an Indian fan, what can he or she expect from the remainder of this test match?
I think the keys for me is that if India managed to restrict Australia by 150, 170, India will still have a good chance to make a good comeback in this with the batting unit start taking up the responsibility. Because remember, Australia will still have to bat last on this. If we manage to get 120, 140, they still need to go and chase that part. So I think its first job in hand for India is to make sure that the lead is controlled. It's not leak more than 50, 60 runs, and then pretty much quickly get on with the job.
Uh, is this the sort of pitch if one wicket comes, then few more can come in a
Absolutely.
quick
For
succession?
a new batter, it's always challenging. Before they assess, you could see couple of people just losing their plot here and ploy. So that's a huge advantage. And okay, Ashwin and Jadeja are experienced campaigners when it comes to dominating when you get slightest of the chances. And I'm expecting the same, that one wicket here and things will be different for them.
So that's a positive note on which Nilesh has left us. Nilesh, thanks a lot for your time on India Sports News. We'll be back again on day two, hopefully with better news from the Holkar Cricket Stadium. And all of you on India Sports News watching us, please like, share, subscribe the channel, and follow us and like and subscribe us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Till tomorrow, goodbye.